Hey guys, got another Gifted Apprentice update for you. So it'll be kind of difficult to explain why this update is so useful, or even exactly what it is, but it took a lot of work to figure out and implement, so hopefully I can give you an idea with a few examples. Okay, so one of the key differences between Gifted Apprentice and most 3D modeling applications is that Gifted Apprentice doesn't require the animator to make a model of their object before animating it. The goal is just to let the animator pose the model in some arbitrary configuration for whatever keyframe, draw their character over the armature, then pose the armature again in the next keyframe. But because Gifted Apprentice is a 2D animation program, all characters are comprised of 2D shapes. And ultimately, there's still an inherent mathematical limitation to representing 3D objects as 2D shapes. Specifically, there's no way to interpolate a shape continuously throughout a full 360 degrees without hitting some antipodal degeneracies. You get some weird spinning issues. I'll leave it as an exercise for the viewer. Anyway, Gifted Apprentice works around that by using a discontinuous flip of the point specifying the user's shape at the 180 degree mark. However, the choice for this 180 degree mark greatly ends up affecting the error rate of Gifted Apprentice's extrapolations. In previous versions, this 180 degree mark was simply placed perpendicular to whatever view the user was looking from when they first created the shape. And this is all fine if the user is actively choosing the view that minimizes foreshortening, but forcing the user to draw something head-on violates the just place an armature and draw your character over it goal. Because, what if the armature is placed in a foreshortened angle? In really unfortunate scenarios, it would render the extrapolator almost useless and require the animator to make way more corrections than they should be expected to. In the absolute worst case scenarios, it could even lead the animator to be confused about which points interpolated to which between keyframes, and that would end up leading to weird crossing issues. From a usability perspective, this isn't technically a showstopper. It doesn't really happen that often, and even when it does, the user can just brute force through it and keep correcting the AI. But it can be frustrating when it does pop up. So ideally what we want is for the AI to automatically figure out where to place that 180 degree mark so as to maximize the shape symmetry through it and minimize foreshortening. Since the user is liable to make corrections as they add keyframes, we also want the AI to modify its placement of that mark as the user gives it more information as part of the keyframing process. So let's try that same shape again, again from a foreshortened angle. We're just doing a crescent shape, so from this view it's going to look kind of cylindrical. The key thing to note at the moment is that that big gray circle outside the shape, that circle represents the plane of symmetry. It's the plane by which everything will flip. And now you see that as you modify the shape, Gifted Apprentice starts taking a new guess as to where the plane of symmetry should be, so that circle fades out and back in. And now you see that if you go to the bottom there, it doesn't do that weird cutting off one edge like it did without the plane of symmetry being automatically inferred. Anyway, as a more clear-cut, simplistic example, I have this bone here that's supposed to represent, let's say, I don't know, an arm or something, and we're looking at it from a foreshortened angle. So let's draw some foreshortened shape around it, which we know to be cylindrical, like most arms are, but the AI doesn't have enough information to conclude that yet. So we're just drawing some, from this view it's going to look like a circle, and the AI extrapolates it to some vaguely spherical thing. And it conforms to the shape exactly from the view you drew it, and it just extrapolates whatever, so it seems about right. But we don't really want it to be spherical, we want it to be we want it to be cylindrical, so let's just move these points over here. And what you'll see is that the plane of symmetry gets recomputed as you start moving points. So, right, it seems to be pretty close parallel to the bone there, which is what we want. So we can rotate through, and it's looking pretty good. It looks a bit flat. I probably should use a few more points to let the AI round things out, but it doesn't matter too much. I can just move these back over and make it look right from this view. And the plane of symmetry gets recomputed, and again, even more parallel to the bone, which is what we want, because we are in fact drawing a shape which is intended to be parallel to the bone. So we go through, and it's looking pretty good. And that's just 3 key views. That looks like crap. Okay, so let's fix that up. I'm sick, by the way. So we fix this up, And alright, excellent. So now we have a nice cylindrical shape, and we just used 6 points, and everything's nice and clean. So that's it for this update. I hope it was understandable at all. I'm still basically cleaning stuff up, and man, really hoping to get an alpha out. Wanted to get it out by the new year, but might need a couple more weeks. Yeah, if you are interested in what you see, feel free to follow me on Twitter or check out my Patreon. I post updates and projects there. Let me know what you think. Cool. See ya.